Philippians 4:6-8. Never let worry dominate. Let gratitude-filled prayer in all things be your response. Then God's peace will guard your hearts and minds. Keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind. Jordan's life looked normal enough from the outside. He had a decent apartment, a decent job, decent health, decent friends. Nothing was obviously collapsing, and yet, for months, his inner world had been full of static. He woke up already tense. He checked his phone before his eyes were fully open and immediately found something to worry about. An email, a headline, a missed call, a calendar reminder, a bank notification, a news clip, a text left unanswered too long. His thoughts moved fast and dark, as if his mind had become a room with too many screens on at once. By noon, he was usually carrying 5 imaginary disasters. What if work turns on me? What if I'm falling behind? What if I never get where I'm trying to go? What if this stress is doing permanent damage? What if this is just who I am now? One Thursday evening, after a long commute and a day ruined mostly by his own thoughts, Jordan stopped at a grocery store. He stood in the produce aisle, staring at avocados like they had personally failed him. He was tired, over-caffeinated, and irritated that even choosing fruit felt like one more thing to manage. An older man beside him was slowly filling a basket with ordinary things: bread, soup, apples, tea. He hummed while he worked, not loudly, just enough to sound undisturbed by existence. Jordan glanced at him and muttered, "You seem to know something I don't." The man smiled. Only that most people are starving while standing in a room full of food. Jordan gave him a confused look. The man tapped his chest lightly. "Up here, I mean. People feed on fear all day and wonder why they feel sick." That sentence followed Jordan home. That night, instead of scrolling himself numb, he sat on the edge of his bed and admitted something he had avoided for months. He had trained his mind to scan for threat, not goodness. Even in safe moments, he hunted for what could go wrong next. He called it realism, but really, it was devotion to dread. So he tried something small. The next morning, before touching his phone, he whispered, "God, show me one good thing right now." At first it felt almost embarrassingly simple, but then he noticed the cool air coming through the window, the fact that his body had rested at all, the warmth of the mug in his hand, the quiet before the city fully woke up, the text from a friend he had overlooked, the shaft of sunlight across the kitchen counter, the fact that he was breathing without asking permission from his fear. Nothing dramatic happened, but something began to loosen. Over the next week, Jordan kept practicing. On the train, instead of doom scrolling, he looked for evidences of grace. A father tying his daughter's shoe, a stranger holding a door, a burst of sun between buildings, a moment of unexpected calm in his own chest. At work, when stress rose, he paused and asked, "What good is God giving me in this moment?" Sometimes the answer was obvious. Sometimes it was just strength to take the next right step. And slowly, almost quietly, the atmosphere inside him changed. The fear didn't vanish in one grand moment. It lost oxygen. Stress, he discovered, feeds on fixation. Negativity grows where attention is constantly offered to darkness. But when he deliberately turned toward God's goodness, again and again, moment by moment, his mind stopped spiraling so easily. Gratitude interrupted dread. Peace began showing up in places panic used to live. Weeks later, walking home at dusk with traffic moving around him and the sky turning gold above the buildings, Jordan realized the city had not changed much. He had. The same streets were noisy. The same job still had pressure. The same future still held unknowns. But now he knew something he had not known before. A mind fixed on fear will always find more fear. But a heart trained to notice God's goodness will begin to fill with light. And as that light grew, the shadows no longer ruled the room.